What if I told you that Superman, the Man of Steel, is the world's mightiest superhero? Faster than a speeding bullet and more powerful than a locomotive, traces his origins not just to a doomed planet and the creative minds of two young comic creators, but also to ancient legends carved deep into our collective imagination. Today, we're unlocking the hidden roots of Superman's powers, digging beneath the science fiction and comic book panels, discovering the astonishing ancient legend that shaped the world's greatest superhero. Welcome to DC Decoded. Superman appeared in 1938 in the pages of Action Comics #1, leaping tall buildings in a single bound. For most readers, his powers are straightforward. He's an alien from Krypton, whose biology under Earth's yellow sun gives him tremendous abilities. But this explanation, while iconic, is just the surface layer. Superman's true power, his immortality, invulnerability, flight, and even the very symbol on his chest is drawn from a well of myth older than comics themselves. To understand Superman, we must journey far back in time. Two legends whispered around ancient fires, two gods who walked the sky, and two heroes whose feats echoed through eternity. Let's start at the heart of the legend, the solar deity. Across civilizations, Sumerian, Egyptian, Greek, Roman, and beyond, the sun was seen as not just a light but a life giver, a powerful force that could heal, sustain, and even resurrect the dead. In ancient Egypt, Ra sailed across the sky in his sun barge, each day falling into danger, only to rise again triumphant at dawn. The Greeks celebrated Helios, the radiant charioteer, and Apollo, the golden god, both imbued with dazzling energy, healing hands, and the power to strike down darkness. It's no accident that Superman's greatest strength on Earth comes from sunlights, specifically its yellow rays. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the creators of Superman, were lifelong fans of classical mythology. They imagined their hero as a modern sun god, whose energy couldn't be exhausted and who turned what was once mythic into something tangible. Krypton's red sun left Kal-El powerless and vulnerable. But under Earth's yellow star, he becomes superhuman, a living embodiment of solar invulnerability. In many ways, Superman is our age's Ra, reborn in tights and cape with the sun itself as the wellspring of his power. But the legend goes deeper still. Consider Superman's unmatched strength, his ability to lift cities, bend steel, hurl mountains. Mythological heroes like Gilgamesh, Hercules, and Samson are etched into our cultural memory, each famed for their supernatural power. Hercules single-handedly defeats monsters. Samson rends a lion with his bare hands. Gilgamesh, the semi-divine king of Uruk, slays giants and tears down forests. Superman-esque creators drew upon Theseus' archetypes, knitting together threads from many legends to create a hero who is not only mighty, but whose strength is a stand-in for hope itself, the ability to do what no ordinary human can do, to intervene when all else fails. Then there's flight. In ancient myth, only gods soared above the world, carried by chariots of fire, winged sandals, or legendary wings of feather and wax. Daedalus and Icarus reached toward the sun, longing for a freedom only deities possessed. In early comics, Superman couldn't fly, he could leap tall buildings in a single bound, but by 1941, he was depicted soaring through the air. Why the change? Simply put, the imagery of a hero above us, closer to the heavens, was irresistible. In reimagining Superman as an earthbound god, creators tapped into an ancient yearning to touch the sky, to transcend ordinary reality, to reach the threshold between mortals and the divine. Perhaps most fascinating is the legend behind Superman's invulnerability. In myth, invincibility was the most coveted gift and curse of the gods. Achilles could not be hurt, save for his infamous heel. Siegfried bathed in dragon's blood, leaving one vulnerable spot on his back. Superman, like these heroes, is nearly indestructible, but not entirely perfect kryptonite, a fragment from his home world. Echoes the fatal flaw in all old legends. It's a reminder that even the greatest strengths can have points of weakness, and that even gods can bleed. Just as legends warn against hubris and the folly of believing oneself untouchable, Superman's own vulnerabilities are written with mythic resonance. But the legend doesn't end with ancient Europe or the Near East. Superman owes as much to Jewish folklore as he does to Greco-Roman myth. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, both sons of Jewish immigrants, grew up with tales of the golem being molded from clay and animated by mystical words to protect a persecuted people. The golem was super strong, all but unstoppable. A living defender who stood for justice, but was sometimes feared by those he protected. This myth is woven into Superman's fabric. He is, at his core, an immigrant, forged in a new world, whose power sets him apart, but whose heart is shaped by the ideals of justice, compassion, and hope. Even Superman's name Kal resonates with the language of legend. In Hebrew, El means God, or of God. Some scholars draw parallels to angelic names like Gabriel, God is my strength, and Michael, who is like God, both archangels of immense power and moral purpose. Kal, then, is not simply a name. It's a declaration, voice of God, or vessel of God. Superman does not rule. He serves, acting as a moral guide, a force for good, who uses extraordinary strength to lift others. Now, let's touch upon the famous S on Superman's chest. To most, it stands for Superman. But within Kryptonian lore and in some interpretations, it is a symbol of hope. In translation, it is the crest of the House of El. This parallels ancient heraldry and the tradition of shields and crests that represented power, dynasty, and destiny. And there's another echo here. The S shape bears resemblance to the serpent, symbol of renewal, life, and rebirth found across ancient cultures. Much like the solar deity who dies each night and rises each morning, Superman falls, but always returns, reborn through the endless cycle of legend. The city of Metropolis, too, is steeped in legend. Its shining towers resemble the ancient city-states of myth, ruled by gods and heroes, but also beset by threats only the mighty can face. And Superman's famous Fortress of Solitude? It's an echo of Arthurian myth, of the Grail Castle, sacred retreat where only the chosen can enter, where wisdom is gained and burdens are carried in isolation. It is Superman's Olympus, his connection to home, a place between worlds. We can't overlook the duality at the heart of Superman. Clark Kent, the humble reporter, and Superman, the god among mortals. This duality is timeless. In every culture, heroes hide among common people, taking on human frailty to move unseen.
Ow.
Zeus became a bull. Odin wandered the road disguised as a humble traveler. The god's power was not in being distant, but in walking alongside us, learning our struggles, and sometimes falling in love with humanity's hope and pain. Superman's greatest stories are not just about feats of strength, but about living among us as one of us. So, what does this all mean? Superman's powers are a modern resurrection of the oldest of stories. His strength, his flight, his invulnerability all shine with the borrowed light of gods and legendary heroes. His symbol is ancient, his mission eternal. His vulnerability emblematic of every classical hero's flaw. Each time Superman flies into the sun, each time he battles darkness with light. He enacts the drama first told in ancient legend, the Titan who fell from the heavens, who lost everything, but who uses their gift to bring hope to a world in need. Through Superman, we remember that the stories of old were never forgotten, they were reborn, reimagined in new forms for new generations. The Man of Steel is a bridge between myth and modernity, a living legend whose greatest superpower is not merely strength or speed, but a story that endures. As long as there is darkness, Superman, our sun god in blue and red, will rise again, shining with all the power of legend itself. Thanks for joining us on this journey through myth, mystery, and the legend behind Superman's powers. This is DC Decoded, where every story has a deeper secret waiting to be revealed.